I want to introduce Ezra Donna, who is the musical director here at the Berlin Temple. And he's going to start for us with a slightly new version of Hine Matov, but the words are there. We are very excited about this evening. For the very first time in a Society for Humanistic Judaism gathering, we are welcoming someone who wants to and is identifying as a humanistic Jew, Jerid Morisco, and we are sharing the service of affirmation, adoption, and acceptance along with our Havdalah. I think you'll find it very meaningful. This is an hour of change. Within it, we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it, we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? In saying goodbye to Shabbat with this Havdalah ceremony, we embrace the new week and we welcome wholeheartedly an individual who has chosen to join us as a secular humanistic Jew, Dr. Jerid Morisco. Consider the elements of the Havdalah ceremony: the taste of wine, the scent of spices, the light of candle, the feel of ritual objects in our hands. We can see how, in this most sensory of our rites, we are invited to fully embrace our human nature and to honor the age-old practice of our people of making a distinction between what is ordinary and what is special. As Shabbat gives way to a new week and to a new cycle of living, we too are urged once again to use our talents and our imaginations to heighten our awareness of the differences we can make in our own lives and in the lives of those around us. We have gathered this weekend as friends, as colleagues, and as people who share some of the same values and traditions and vision. We realize that our unique contribution to the ancient and dynamic phenomena that we know as Judaism has the great potential of being one of the prime interpreters of a meaningful, user-friendly Jewish philosophy suited to the needs and sensibilities of both a present and a future generation of both Jews and all those who espouse the ethics of humanism. May we begin the new week and take with us renewed energy, joy in newfound friendships, and the excitement of knowing that through our combined efforts, mighty oaks can indeed grow from small acorns, while we go, as we say in our tradition, from strength to strength.
Blessed are you, world. In the archives of Kibbutz Beit HaShita, I discovered forgotten handwritten notes for a Passover Seder from 1927. Instead of the Kiddush, the author wrote, "Blessed are you, Kibbutz." In his footsteps, I widen the blessing circle and say, "Blessed are you, world," to praise your fragile, complex beauty. If you call the world your friend who upholds you, whether in a day of trouble or of joy, if you call the universe your helpmeet, who gives strength to both your weakness and your might, then join with me in these songs and we'll sing together in a world that fills our springs with blessings. Like the enthusiastic kibbutznik who insisted on making his time new, let us make new what's old and make holy what's new, and join what's called secular to what's called holy, and what's called material to what's called spiritual, until the gulf between them disappears. O blessed world, you give us each day visions and problems to solve and to praise. Baruch atah olam, shenoten lanu b'chol yom dmuyot uva'ayot liftor u'leshabeach. We are welcoming Jerid Morisco into the Jewish family and also into our movement of humanistic Judaism. I had the chance to first speak with Jerid late last year, and in the few months since I spoke with him, just to get to know each other a little bit and to answer the 17,000 questions he had in a list about our training programs at the Institute, I've had a chance to see him multiple times in multiple contexts. He's always bright, energetic, enthusiastic, excited, and full of energy. He went in January, just as one example, to a seminar we held in San Francisco on the world of Jewish music, and the next weekend came to Boca Raton for a seminar on the basic ideas of secular humanistic Judaism. He has enthusiastically put his shoulder to the wheel to help recreate a presence for humanistic Judaism in Atlanta, where he lives, and he has dived wholeheartedly into participation in our movement online in many fora. One of the things I like to say at a wedding is that we are celebrating a reality that already exists. There's nothing I can say or do to make the couple more in love with each other or more committed to each other. That they've already done. I think that's true for this marriage as well, between Jerid and humanistic Judaism. The commitment is already there. The enthusiasm is already there. And I think when it comes to welcoming someone into the Jewish people, by the time we celebrate with them, that truth is already there as well. What we are doing is not changing Jerid. We are celebrating who Jerid already is and has shown himself to be. Please say the blessing with me in English before I sing the Hebrew. Blessed is the light in the world. Blessed is the light of humanity that brings forth the fruit of the vine. Baruch haor ba'olam, Baruch haor ba'adam, Borei pri hagafen l'chaim. L'chaim.
Smell the spices that awaken us, sharp as memory, pushing into the week's rush of days, cacophonous and long. Spices that cling, a delicate perfume, scenting the week with possibilities. Blessed are the spices that awaken us. The spices that comprise the sense of Havdalah smell good on their own, and the scent is more powerful and wonderful in the commingling. So too with people. Each of us is important and valuable as an individual, but it is our coming together in community that we find we are more powerful and better sustained. I first got to meet Jerid through the community secularsynagogue.com, and everything Adam said about his energy and enthusiasm is absolutely true. It's just so beautiful and infectious. And I have a couple of other things I wanted to say. He came to his Jewish journey, and I think he might tell you about this. One of the first things he did was mark Hanukkah, and it was in honor of his neighbor. with whom he had a relationship, and he missed seeing her Chanukiah in the window after she died. And that really is just such a beautiful thing because it speaks to his personality, where he does things for himself, of course, but also very often in the service of others. SecularSynagogue.com held an online digital Passover Seder, and Jerid, in all things, was really there for it, enthusiastic and happy to participate, created a beautiful Seder plate, and was ready to go, but then had to pause his preparation to save the life of a possum in his neighborhood. And I think the two stories, Hanukkah in honor of his neighbor and the possum at Pesach, tells you what you need to know about Jerid. So I will say the blessing in English. Let's say together the blessing on the spices in English, and then I'll do the Hebrew. May we discover joy and happiness and blessing in the coming week, and may we preserve, and may these spices help us to preserve the delight of Shabbat. And if you'd like to join the Hebrew, please feel free. V'nachat v'osher uvracha negale b'shavua haba v'nishmor et oneg haShabbat al yedei minei b'samich. As the vestiges of light recede into the night sky, the light of the candle we are about to light alleviates the darkness with the glow of its light. Let the light illuminate our lives, creating hope where there was despair, knowledge where there was ignorance, action rather than stagnation. As the many strands of the candle intertwine, we recall that the light of wisdom comes from more than one source, and when combined creates a stronger, more vital flame. So too, we value wisdom from many sources, enriching us with its diversity. The light from the candle will remind us that every individual, every community, and the Society for Humanistic Judaism are sources of wisdom that together we create a stronger, combined flame. Together, let the light from the candle strengthen our love toward the Maker. So we all have similar things to say about Jerid, but I want to share the story of how this evening happened. We were, I think, originally emailing, and then we talked on the phone, and Jerid said, "Is there any opportunity for me to do the adoption ceremony publicly during the weekend?" Well, by this time we had been working for like 6 months on programming, and I said, "Oh, Jerid, it's such a great idea, but I don't know where we can put it," because my mind was full of programming. So I called Adam and I said, "Adam, is there any place the whole weekend?" He goes, "Yeah, Havdalah." I went, "Yeah, Havdalah." So I wrote to Jerid and he was just thrilled. And we are just thrilled that we can share all of this with you. First I would light the candle, and I know how to do it now. My
Mike said, don't make me come up here. The English together, please. Blessed is the light of this place, and may it shine throughout the world. Baruch haor ba'makom hazeh, va'yehi or b'chol ha'olam. So finally, Jerid, I'm going to ask you to come join me. So Jerid and I had a very interesting conversation about the name that he would take. And we considered a variety of names and discussed the meaning of those names. And he had a particular attachment, because your grandfather, his name was Daniel. And so we talked about Daniel and how it ended with the name of God. And I said, you know, this has meaning to you, so we're fine. And Jerid said, no, doesn't work for me. So Jerid came up with this. And I will say that those who join the Jewish people have an opportunity to take a Hebrew or a Jewish name. And Jerid chose the name Zamir because he is a singer. And he told me he was a singer, but now I'm sitting next to him. And you have a beautiful voice. So Zamir is a wonderful name for you because your heart sings and your smile sings and your voice sings, and we are so privileged for you to be singing with us and for us. So according to Jewish law, a convert is required to go to the ritual bath, the mikveh. We've had a lot of talk about this, to symbolically wash away one's identity and be reborn as a Jew. But in humanistic Judaism, you do not lose your past identity or your family, and you are not reborn. Rather, you are adopted into the Jewish family and are enriched by the Jewish way of life. So, I'm going to ask you, these are from the core principles of the Society for Humanistic Judaism. Judaism is the historic culture of the Jewish people. We see Jewish history as a testimony to the continuing struggle for human dignity, and like the history of other peoples, as a product of human decisions and actions. We create and use non-theistic Jewish rituals, services, and celebrations that invoke the ethical core of Jewish history, literature, and culture. We make ethical decisions based on our assessment of the consequences of our actions. We each take responsibility for our own behavior, and all of us take collective responsibility for the state of our world. So I will ask you, do you affirm with an open and joyful heart your commitment to these principles in our community?
With great joy, I do.
The Who is a Jew statement of the International Federation for Secular Humanistic Judaism that we adopted in Brussels in 1988 affirmed that a Jew is someone who identifies with the history, culture, struggles, triumphs, and future of the Jewish people. So Jerid, you affirm with an open and joyful heart that you identify with the history, culture, struggles, triumphs, and future of the Jewish people.
My heart does.
So we are so proud to be able to give you the certificate of affirmation and welcome. It's signed by the three of us. Jerid asked that all three of us participate in the ceremony. And we're just so proud that you are part of us now. So I'm going to ask you to respond to all of this wonderful and emotional things that we're doing.
Rabbi Jerris informed me that I had to keep this under 3 minutes. So you are getting a very abbreviated version. 3 weeks ago, I'm waiting for eye contact. 3 weeks ago, I happened upon an infant opossum clinging to the body of its deceased mother. Leaving it to perish was not an option. I picked up the little animal. Its hand, very human-like, by the way, reached out for the comfort and warmth of mine. We found a licensed wildlife rehabber, who is now helping him to grow and to be ready to face the world. A few days ago, I received an email from the rehabber, and she now has 2 more possums, as we say in the South. This news gave me great joy because I understand that connection is vital for survival, both in animals and us humans. Wilmer, as we named him, can now have the constant touch and warmth of his adopted siblings. 3 years ago, I was at a place of knowing who I wasn't. Though I was no longer clinging to my past, my hand was reaching out for a place of comfort and warmth, a place of belonging. A dear Jewish neighbor had recently died. The following Hanukkah, the window where she always lit her Hanukkah was empty, symbolic of the empty place in our hearts. And though I didn't write this, I will tell you the first time I walked my dog on the first night of Hanukkah, not realizing that her light would not be there, I broke down and cried like a baby. Sorry. We decided to honor her. Okay, the laughter helped. We decided to honor her by celebrating Hanukkah the following year. An internet search took me to a home Hanukkah celebration created by some random guy named, what was his name? Oh, Rabbi Adam Shalom. Hanukkah that year was profoundly meaningful. It changed the course of my thinking and was my first step to the path of Judaism. As I journeyed deeper into Judaism, I discovered a language that spoke to my soul. By the way, Judaism was that language, not Hebrew. Mine is still not so good. Along the way, I discovered a wealth of tradition which helps give meaning to the many points along life's journey. I learned that Judaism is best practiced with others. Most importantly, I discovered a people who have given me comfort, warmth, and connection. The Jewish people, my adopted siblings. With gratitude, I stand here today, one of you. My siblings, as we depart from here tonight, may each of us be ready not only to face a new week, but as Wilmer will be soon, ready to face the world. May each of us work for the liberation and dignity of all humanity. Toda Raba, Shavua Tov.
Very special, as I told you. So Jerid, we're so delighted that you have joined our people and our community, and we want to make some commitments to you in return. We want to offer you Judaism and justice to help you have a life that is enriched and well-lived and help you be a force for goodness in the world. We want to offer you avenues for authenticity so you can be your whole self, your whole wonderful self, and get to express who you are in community. And we offer you learning, because you're somebody who likes to learn, and we love that. Laughter, because you're somebody who likes to laugh, and we love that. And lots of love. So, Mazel Tov, and we're so delighted for you, and so delighted to be with you.
The last Havdalah ritual joins wine and flame, rest and work, Shabbat and the week, the past and the future. We are strengthened by our diversity, we are inspired by our creativity, and we find hope and courage in the power of our ideas. How good it is to face this future together. Go ahead. Merger poem. And then all that has divided us will merge, and then compassion will be wedded to power, and then softness will come to a world that is harsh and unkind, and then both men and women will be gentle, and then both men and women and men will be strong, and then no person will be subject to another's will, and then all will be rich and free and varied, and then the greed of some will give way to the needs of many, and then all will share equally in the earth's abundance, and then all will care for the sick and the weak and the old, and then all will nourish the young, and then all will cherish life's creatures, and then all will live in harmony with each other and the earth, and then everywhere will be called Eden once again. We conclude our Havdalah service, marking the distinction of time between Shabbat and the week, and between the moments before this celebration and after, with wishing each other Shavua Tov, a gute Woche, a good week, a week of peace. I invite you to turn to your neighbor and wish them a Shavua Tov.
Just give us a minute to clean up Havdalah, and then we will invite the next group of people up.